never dries. A final desperate reach for my immortality. The shadow always over this unhinged mind. A separation was needed for salvation to clear exactly. The tears have all dried up, but the weeping never ends. The ending is complete. There is no solution. The tears have all dried up, but the weeping never ends. The ending is complete. There is no solution.
giants of steel and concrete, organized by computers and electronic technology. It makes us feel safe to think that man has control of his environment, that science and logic have explained everything. And yet, there are many phenomena that reach beyond our knowledge.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Rex Jess here. Let's make sure everything's running. Make sure everything is transitioning. We are good. We're great. Awesome. Welcome back. As again, I'm Rex Jess. We're gonna have episode 2 of the Who Is podcast. So this was my own idea. I'm gonna bring on random people around the world, and we'll discuss just life in general. Normally people that I know, but I'm always open to take whoever wants to come on. So just let me know. You know what I mean? Send me a DM, send me a whisper, whatever. You can find me on Twitter, on YouTube, and of course here on Twitch. The name is Rex Jess across the board. I think I'm the one and only, to be honest with you. I did make up that nickname. So yeah. Besides that, today we're gonna have the systematic Eric Fallen on. So I'm gonna give him a call here in a minute, and we'll wait for him to answer. Other than that, man, we're pretty good. We're gonna be solid. I don't know how long of a podcast is gonna be. The last one was an hour with Gabe. Me and him was very straightforward. This one could be a little bit longer. We'll see. But we will max out at 2. So we won't go over 2 hours. So we'll keep it pretty straightforward. I have my notes as always. So I have the topics. We'll run down, and yeah, we'll just hang out and chat, and let's get to know who Eric Fallen is. Let me give him a call real quick. Let's see here. 10 minutes early on the call, but he might answer. Let me send him a message and let's just see if he's ready. But if not, it's okay. We'll keep filler. I don't have another one lined up at the moment. I have a few people in mind that I might want to get on here. Sagex, of course, my good buddy. I'm thinking about him. Astro Nemesis would be awesome. And I don't think I can convince Black Thunder. He doesn't like to talk. But if he ever wants to talk, he is more than invited, more than welcome to come on my show. As we all know, those are my top mods, Nemesis and Thunder. So if you need Discord codes or anything to find out when I go live, you can shoot me a DM. I can put you into the Discord, or those guys can help you out as well. We're always available, and we're always willing to help out as much as we can. So I'm always around. So feel free to DM, shoot, whispers, whatever you got, and I'll let you into the Discords, no problem. Alright, no respond yet. Give me 1 second here. I don't want to call somebody and then not be ready, So let's give him a few minutes. Maybe he's eating dinner. We were scheduled for 5:20. I played 2 songs. His 2 songs were pretty long. They were damn near 15 minutes combined. Normally I only have like 7 minutes, 8 minutes combined for my music, But hey, they were pretty damn good songs. We're not going to talk about the guy yet until he gets on. That way, no spoilers, stuff like that. But yeah, if you saw Endgame, I haven't seen it. I don't really have any desire to see it. I did read the spoilers, so I know everything that actually happened in it. Sounds like it's pretty good. I'll watch it eventually, probably a couple months. I'll be able to get it myself, watch it. But I mean, it's a superhero movie. We know what's gonna happen. Let's see here. Let's go to the BRB screen and just give me a few minutes here just to get him up. All right, cool. So we'll be able to go here in just a few minutes. All right. So besides that, thank you guys for coming in as always. Um, at the end of the stream, if I don't remember, somebody please remind me to raid. I didn't do a raid last time, and I felt like shit afterwards. I should always do a raid, no matter what. I just I really strongly believe in helping anybody out as much as you can, even little raids. It doesn't matter. It's just an appreciation thing. So I didn't do that last time, and I felt pretty bad. So this week the streams will continue. We'll be back Monday through Friday. I don't guarantee it every day because I never guaranteed any day. But I will say, check the Twitter, check the post on Discords, stuff like that. I'll be live between Monday and Friday at 8:30 p.m. EST. He said, "Give him 1 second," so we will. Between 8:30, well, 8 and 8:30 p.m. EST, I'll be live. We're right now just playing Pokemon. I don't even have my PS4 in here, to be honest with you guys. I have it in a different room. The wife's playing it. I'm really not interested in playing it at the moment. I like the games that I have, Metro and whatever else, but I have very little interest in playing them right now. I don't know. I gotta get in the groove of playing games again. So I've been having fun with Pokemon, and the Rexlock is kind of what I'm liking. So we're gonna hang out with the Rexlock because I'm digging it, and we're moving along with that game pretty well. So yeah, that'll return starting tomorrow. But I might have an early stream tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see. So, like I said, look out on the Twitter, look for the Discords, because I could have a stream around 1 o'clock tomorrow. We'll see what happens. All right, let's just give him a few more minutes here. Said just give him a few. I should have played more music in the background. I just don't for the podcast streams. I just have the opening songs. Normally my normal streams, I got Final Fantasy playing. Last time was Kingdom Hearts. So, yeah. Guess we'll go to the BRB screen and let's just hang out until well, he might be ready. Okay, he's good to go. All right, I'm gonna actually go ahead and give him the call now. So bear with me. I didn't even have to go to the BRB screen. Let's let the phone ring. Eric Fallen, are you there?
I'm here. How you doing, man?
How you doing? Let me see how your voice is bringing up. Go ahead and talk for me for a second. Just say, hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
All right, you're picking up great. All right, man, what's up? What's going on, Eric? Um,
Not too. What's up, man?
yeah, how's your weekend been?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. How was
Hanging in
Friday
there
night?
a little bit under the weather, but I'm fine.
Getting sick? Okay.
Not really sick, just trying not to get sick.
Okay. Yeah, the Ohio weather up and down constantly.
Yep.
Yeah. How was Friday night?
I didn't. I wasn't in attendance Friday night.
No appearance.
Nah. The code gave me the night off, so
Well, there you go. We'll talk about them later, but that's kind of a little sneak peek for you guys later on.
yeah.
All right. So we're gonna throw up your logo for everybody to check that out. That's a pretty cool logo.
All right.
All right. So let's just talk about who is Eric Fallen. So, how did you grow up and stuff like that? What was your childhood like?
Uh, it's kind of rough, Like I came up really from the school of hard knocks, Like father was really strict. You know, he had some personal demons that he was dealing with, so he wasn't always in the picture. I think one of his ways of being a dad was putting me in front of a television set and letting me watch wrestling. That was the first time I ever experienced it, and I think in a lot of ways, pro wrestling kind of raised me. He obviously was battling addiction with alcohol and his own personal drugs and stuff like that. So it was a little rough, man. I'm not saying I didn't have a childhood, but I'm not saying I had a childhood that I should have had either. I
Yeah.
think pro wrestling kind of raised me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I was right there with you. A very similar situation for me. Actually, I had my real dad never knew until I was 16. My stepdad drank a lot too. Argued a lot with the mom. I pretty much contend to myself, hang out and play video games a lot growing up. Mainly stayed around my grandmother. She's more or less
Yeah,
the one who raised me.
yeah. It's kind of funny how similar it is, because his parents were the only ones that really I felt comfortable with. Uh, my mom. I was obviously closer to my mom than I was my father, but my mom was just pretty much more. She didn't want to ever go against my father. It was more of a, kind of thing like, well, I want to keep my family together at all cost, even though I know he has issues. I want to try to keep my family together as much as possible. But, sometimes as much as you want to try to keep something negative together, obviously it's positive if it's not. And, I spent more time over at my grandparents' house than anything. But,
Same
uh,
here. Is your mom and dad still around?
yeah.
Yes.
Um,
They still together?
yeah. No, 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 no. They got a divorce back in I would say I think it was like 2005, 2006, around that time. They called
Okay.
it quits.
Okay.
Obviously I was already gone, out of the house, so it
Yep.
was kind of like, well, a little too late. But I don't know, man. My dad. It's funny how sometimes you can come full circle with things. He, after so many close calls with life and death, man, he's finally on a good path now, and he's battling his demons, and he's winning, and we
That's
see each
good.
other more often now, and we have a pretty good relationship.
We have a very similar life, me and you. Everything you said is pretty much the exact same for me. Dad and
Yep.
mom always fought. They actually separated when I was 18, so it was a little too late as far as I'm concerned as well. I lived with my grandmother. Um,
Right.
but yeah, they separated as well back in I think 2010. They separated, so just a few years after you. You know, um,
Yep.
very
Yep.
similar lives. The dad he's doing better today than he was back then, and the mom's doing good for me. So
Yeah, man. Like with the whole with the whole upbringing, everything, it just kind of personally for me, it made me a loner. I was always a loner. I always kept to myself.
same here.
I'm not saying I never had any friends or anything. I just had a really, really, really small circle of people that I, could be around and could deal with. So, I kept to myself. I stayed in my room a lot. I ate in my room. I never had family dinners. It was just always, come to the kitchen, get what your mom makes, or get what you can find, and go back to your room and watch wrestling and play video games and
We lived the same
draw or
life, my
something like
friend.
that.
We lived the exact
That's
same life.
it's
That's
funny.
how mine was. Come get your plate. Go ahead. Go back to your room. My brothers did the same. We didn't have a dinner table. Nobody ate
Yep.
together. Um, we didn't even like the same TV shows as far as I'm concerned. So, so yeah, we
Yeah.
had
So
very similar life.
that's the way it was, man. Like I understand people who have that better family upbringing and that idea of the American family life, but you know, mine obviously was a little bit night compared to that, night and day. So it was just I'm not saying we never did eat at the table together. It was just, it had to have been a blue moon, or a very rare occasion that ever happened. So,
S Yeah, same here. Same here. Maybe occasionally we might play Monopoly or something as a family, but
right,
majority
right.
of the time you're pretty much by yourself with a small group of friends, which is exactly how I was. Let's go into your later years. So let's say how old were you when you first started training for professional wrestling?
Well, I always did. I always loved wrestling. I always did it. Coming up as a teenager. Obviously I wasn't old enough to do it professionally at the time. I was one of those kids who would wrestle kids in the backyard, or I would, try to make a homemade ring, and we would just, screw around. Um, I got with a youth group back in my teens with some friends of mine, and they would run a weekly thing for kids all over from Kettering, Centerville, Miamisburg, West Carrollton. They just brought everybody together, and I met a lot of new faces, a lot of kids from different schools that our schools were playing against. Met a lot of people, and I met a little bit of a group that we all love pro wrestling, so we'd all go there and just wrestle around, just horseplay, just you know do what we saw on TV and imitated everything that we saw and grew up with. And a lot of them, they don't do it anymore. They never tried to achieve it as a dream or tried to go any further with it other than that. And I always told them, I said, in some way or another, I'm going to be the one that's going to try to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
And when I got 18, I graduated high school, and that same year, I found out that Heartland Wrestling Association (HWA) in Cincinnati was a thing. They were running tryouts, and you could sign up to be trained as a pro wrestler. And at that time, it was the 2001 era. So at that time, I think um, maybe I'm getting the months wrong. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but I graduated in June. I
Yeah.
do believe that WCW already folded at that time. Vince already bought them, and a lot of the WCW guys that didn't get picked up right away, not the major players that were under AOL contracts and couldn't do anything. I'm
Right. Right.
talking about like the guys that were on like their weekly Thunder show and Nitro. Um, they were going down to HWA to kind of stay in the game, to kind of not get rusty. HWA became a developmental for WWE. So, it was kind of at the right place at the right time. I went down there where, you had guys in there like D'Lo Brown, Steve Blackman, Val Venus, who else? Billy Kidman, Shannon Moore, the Hardys came through there. They did the whole Brian Pillman thing year after year, so everyone got together for that. Steve Austin, all these guys, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, and I just happened to be there at the right time, and I went and had a meeting with Les Thatcher. He was the owner of HWA at the time, and I was basically just trying to get an idea of what did I have to do to get my foot in the door. How did I have to, what did I have to do to basically become a pro wrestler? Well, he laid down, you have to come up with some money, and we can train you 6 months, and you can either pay it off in 6 months, or we can go month to month. And I think at the time, if I remember correctly, I think at the time it was $6,000 to try to train for HWA.
For 1 month?
So no, not for 1 month.
Okay, so
For
a thousand
it
a
was
month.
pretty much, well, it was pretty much for a year. Like,
Oh, okay.
obviously, they're not. I wasn't gonna get in the ring after 6 months. I mean, obviously, I was gonna go and go for a year,
Okay.
But I felt like in 6 months, I would be a lot closer to where I need to be, than where I was. So I said, okay, we'll do a 6 month thing. I'll, you know, I'll go back home and come up with the money. I mean, you got to understand. At this point, I'm 18 years old. I
Yeah.
got out of high school. I didn't have any support from anybody whatsoever. Nobody gave me any handouts. Well, here's 2,000 here, go get your dream. None of that shit ever happened for me. It was, I moved out of my house, um, went and got a job, saved up to try to get a car, finally got a car, and, it wasn't the best car in the world. And I think I was close to I think it was 3,000 off of where I needed to be. I kept going to HWA shows like every freaking week, man. Just getting involved, getting to know the staff, getting to know the crew. I just wanted to get known, be a regular face there. So when I did start training, it was a little bit easier for me.
Yeah, they would
But
recognize you.
yeah, I mean, you had guys up there like Shark Boy, Cody Hawk. That's actually when I first met Cody Hawk. I was a fan at the time, and just watching him perform, I thought this guy's an underdog, man. But if this guy doesn't get signed by anybody, they're fools because he was just one of the best that they had, as an HWA guy.
Right.
But I'd go up there and watch his matches with Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, Nigel McGuinness. The list goes on. And it was just crazy, man. Like that's where I wanted to be. That's all I ever wanted to do. And being a kid, life happens, especially when you don't have any support behind you. Shit happens, man. And my car was giving me issues. My car kind of went down on me. The transmission effed up, and I was kind of stuck in a hole. Well, what do? Do I finish trying to save money and go try to go after my dream, or do I buckle down and I guess try to get a new car? Like, what's the more responsible thing to do? Because I have to have transportation. No one else is going to, do it for me, you know?
Yep.
So, that's what happened, man. I kind of had to take the money that I saved and go and invest in a new vehicle. And, it broke my heart. It crushed me. I felt like, God, I was so close to just getting to where I needed to be. I'm around this facility that has all of this knowledge. Guys from WCW, guys from WWE, guys that are coming up in that company, so much knowledge here that can help me, be where I need to be. It was actually the start that I wanted. It's just not the start that I got. But, I tried to do things the right way in the beginning. It just, shit happens,
And from their standpoint, it is a business, so they don't
yeah, so
rarely give out handouts like the big stories you hear about guys who got trained for free. That's rare occasions. This is a business, so they do got to make money.
well, I was a fan coming up there at the time, and I was there like every week. So
Yes.
they knew me as that, and a few of those guys knew that I wanted to train. But this is a business that you got to take serious. You got to take extremely serious. And when you stop coming around and things happen, you kind of out of sight, out of mind. And that's what happened, man. I didn't have any way to get out there to Cincinnati every week anymore. Uh, the friend that I had that was taking me out there before I even got a car, they moved.
Okay.
So I was kind of in a situation where it was like, God, man, I have to focus on me. I have to get my shit together. So I went and got me a new car and worked my ass off and just kind of put wrestling on the side, and tried to build up my credit, build up my life, and figured, okay, I'd go after it, later on. I'd try again at some other time.
So you
Just
kind of put it
now,
on the back burner
yeah.
a little bit there and just lived a
Yep.
normal life. What were you working?
I went from doing Kroger's to Myers to oh God, man, everywhere pretty much. Just going
Whatever
from
was
job to
hiring, huh?
just trying to find something, man. Trying to find a better living. Like I was on my own. I mean, I lived with a roommate here and there, but God, man, that shit never worked out. It was just always a headache. It was always something going on with moving people into your place. So I mean, I did what I had to do to survive, man, for a while. Fuck, man, I didn't get back into wrestling like 3 or 4 years down the road. Like
Really,
I
that
put it.
long? Okay.
Yeah, yep. I had a 3 or 4 year hiatus from it.
All right.
But
Well, how'd you get back into it?
I was at a nightclub one night, and one of the bouncers that was there that got hired, uh, I just, it's funny how fate works because when something is meant to be or something is supposed to be the way it is, things will just fall your way, and it's funny. Uh, I used to be a raver when I was a kid. Like I used to go to raves all the time. I used to be just like a punk rock raver kid. I would sneak out and go to abandoned buildings and we'd set up raves, man, and just fucking get all these kids together, man, and just try to create this revolution. We thought we were creating a revolution. We were doing it in positive ways. We were trying to get all these kids that we met from all over the area together to just be together. You know what I mean? They get away from life and just have a good time, listening, music and just be different. And I was at this rave, uh, and I met one of these bouncers, and he told me that we got on the subject of pro wrestling, and he said, "Oh, you like pro wrestling?" And I said, "Well, yeah, man. Who doesn't, right?" And he said, "Well, I'm actually a pro wrestler." And I'm like, "Well, get the fuck out of here, really?" And I was like, "Well, where do you wrestle from?" And he didn't wrestle for HWA,
Okay.
but he wrestled for some promotion out here in Middletown at the time. I think it was called XVW or something.
Okay.
And he was telling me about, well, if I wanted to come down and check it out, that I could. So I did. Waited about a week, and I went down there and checked it out, and they gave me a tryout. And I went in there and did it, man. And out of three guys, that I tried out with, I was one of the ones that, was the most impressive, because I could do things that the other two guys couldn't do. I mean,
Yeah, you
honestly,
did have some training to this point, so that did help.
yes, I had some training, I had some knowledge, yes. So, they made me run a few drills, and the other guys just wasn't, they just didn't come. I don't know what was going on in their head, but they didn't come prepared. They didn't come in shape, I guess, to run these drills. So I was always I was always in pretty good, decent shape, and I always kept myself together. And when it came down to do the tryout, um, I was one of the ones that made it through. So they liked me, and they they offered to give me a spot. But you got to understand, this wasn't HWA. Where HWA would have done things the proper way, they were more like this little place in Middletown was like, well, he's athletic, he's got a good look to him. He pretty much knows what he knows, like he knows the spots, he knows the bumps. Let's just get him in there. There was no like, hey, let's take time with this. Let's grow this the proper way. They just threw me in there, just to be a part of their show, man. And to
So,
me, that's not the kind of training, and that's not the kind of promotions you want to go to when you're trying to start out. You don't want to just be, oh, that guy looks really good. Oh, he can do a backflip. That's pretty cool. Let's just throw him into a match. No, you don't fucking
hurt
go about
somebody.
it that way.
Yeah.
You got to really train this guy. You've got to really dissect his wrongs and his rights. And at the time, man, I just wanted to fucking wrestle, man. I didn't care. I didn't think any of. I just didn't think about, well, I need to get up with this guy. I need to get up with that guy. I just felt like, hey, man, a promoter wants to book me. He's giving me money to do what I've always wanted to do. Fuck,
Yeah, you don't
that's the
pass up an
no-brainer, right?
opportunity. Yeah, you don't pass up an
No.
opportunity.
So my first match ever was at the Dayton Gym Club. I don't think it exists anymore. But it was down near where Rockstar kind of runs or used to run down the street from the Oregon District in Dayton. Uh, HWA ran there too. They ran their World War III pay-per-views where they had the two rings battle royal. Um, so you know, my first match, Dayton Gym Club, was a pretty good turnout. Uh, I think OVE was down there at the time because I think they were with HWA. Um, they just happened to be there, just to watch the show. And dude, I was in some sort of a six-man match. You got to think these guys that I was in the match with, they wasn't really all that properly trained. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I kind of, for some reason, I thought in my head, well, I used to be able to do backflips pretty decent. So I figured, okay, I'd go up to the top, I'll do a backflip, for a big high spot.
And you're a big guy.
I don't know what
You're
happened.
not a small guy. At this point,
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably roughly the same height, right? So,
You just don't think being tall, you just don't think. Okay, well what I did on the trampoline that probably helped assist me do that, being on the top rope's a little bit different.
yeah, cuz how
I
tall
wanted
are
to do
you?
a moonsault.
You're easily 6'4"?
6'4".
You are 6'4". Okay, that was a good guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
Yep.
you're a pretty tall guy. So,
Well, it was kind of funny. I guess my first match could say it's very worthy to go down the road on Blotchamania because I went for a backflip. That's what was going on in my head, but didn't turn out to be a backflip. It turned out to be a kind of like a slip free fall, and you got 5, 6 guys down there, man, ready to fucking catch me, and not one of them fucking caught me.
oh
I
man.
go right through,
Oh
I
man.
go right through every one of them, and just take a back bump off the top rope onto the gymnasium floor. So I was like, all right.
Oh
Well,
yeah, brother.
that was the first insane thing I ever did.
At least you got up.
And
You know you can take the bump.
yeah, I got up. The only thing I ever got from that is you know, elbow was banged up a little bit, but other than that, I just kept going.
Yep.
And that's the way it was, man. I ran from promotion to promotion out in the Middletown area to around the Dayton area. Another promotion started up called IPWA, and me, Dave and Jake from OVE, and Dustin Rays, and some other guys, they all floated over to that area, and it was in that whole outfit there. And I was just, a young kid. I went in there having matches, guys left, right. Was I good? No. I was athletic. I just didn't know the proper way of, being, to what to do with it. So I had a lot of those guys, man, just kind of like, well, here's what you need to do, and here's what you're fucking up on, and this is what you need to do. So, you know, at that time, those guys kind of tucked me underneath their wing and took care of me and showed me, where to go from there. And then a company called DCW that runs out towards Piqua, uh, they came down to watch the show, pretty much to scout talent. And I was one of the guys that they scouted and offered me to come in and work for them. And when I went up there to work for them, a guy by the name of Big Jim Hutchinson, he was running like a seminar there, and he decided, I decided, well, hell, if he's training people, fuck, why not? So I went in there to kind of like get some advice and learn from him. Well, he was a big guy, and I'm kind of a big guy, so I wanted to learn how to work big guy style. So I went over there to pretty much learn from him, and we were in there for like an hour or two, and he taught me some basic psychology as a big guy. And you can be athletic, you can do this, do that. You just gotta have the right time to do it. So he was the first one who really properly take me under his wing, and show me the ropes as far as training goes. He was the only one that kind of, hey man, I'm gonna take the fucking time. I'm gonna try to really help you. But I think after DCW,
That's pretty
I went
pretty
to
crazy. It took that long for you to actually get legit proper training, because you've already been working.
well, bro, hey, it was more on my part than anything. Like I was going back and forth, man. Shit wasn't working out for me in Dayton.
Yeah.
I moved to Columbus. So it was a drive to come from Columbus all the way down to Dayton just to get training, you know. And dude, sometimes I could make that shot, sometimes I couldn't, you know. Like it would just depended on the weather, it depended on my job schedule.
Yep.
You know, it just seemed like every time I had an opportunity to better myself in pro wrestling, there would always be some sort of personal life stop sign, you know, or some shit would
You
always
think
get in the way.
you think looking back at it now, like those were speed bumps that you should have went over?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had to learn the hard way because when I came in, I was just like any other stereotype kid. I had a dream. I want to do this. I've watched it enough on TV to know the moves and know what to do. But come to find out, I don't know shit about anything. You know, like I need guys to really just fucking wake me up. You know, set me in the corner, wake me up, bitch me out, tell me what I'm doing wrong. You know,
Some people
and
need
it
that.
took,
I'm
and I
motivated
did.
like that as well.
And I did, Jesse. I did. I needed that. I'm not going to be one of those guys that said no. I was too good to not need that. I needed that a lot. I needed somebody to beat my ass in the ring. I needed somebody to show me the right way. You know, I mean, fuck, man. You know, I went through all these promotions, and a lot of these promotions just wasn't good for me. But if I had to do it all over again, I would come up that way because you have to understand where you're wrong at and what you're doing wrong and where you're going wrong. You're never going to get into a good place, you know, into a good locker room unless you've worked for the shit. And that's the way it is. Like you have to know the difference. You know, I see guys all the time who they come down and they get booked on one of those shitty shows and they're just like they're blown away and it's like, dude, you don't realize this is half of fucking Ohio here. You
Yeah.
know, you got like maybe four good promotions in this state. The rest of them are just fucking whatever. You know. But
Most of them you
yeah,
don't
I
even
had to
know
learn.
exist. I think that's
Absolutely.
a little bit of the problem. I don't know many exist. I know two off the top of my head that I could give you, and that's really it for just a casual person that isn't researching this. Two are the two that you normally hear about.
Yeah. You know, uh, it just it took a long time for me, man. It really did. I don't want to say little too late, but you know, what should have happened for me back in my better years, it just, it seems like it's happening for me now. And I don't know, man. It's kind of like I'm doing this thing ass backwards, straight up. You know, like I'm living pro wrestling straight ass backwards. Like the things that should have happened to me when I was younger, you know, should have happened then, and it just didn't work out that way.
I think a
You
lot of
know, I
people
had
feel
to.
that. I think a lot of professional wrestlers feel that.
Well, bro, I've had to scratch and I've had to claw for every opportunity, everything I ever had to do. You know, nothing was ever handed to me. It was either you either work your ass off for it or you're gonna watch the other guy get it. And I always knew that I was good. I always knew that I was an athlete and I had a great athletic ability and great look. I just needed to know what can I do with this? How can I make money with this? How can I appeal to an audience? How can I be entertaining? You know, it was a lot of growing pains, a lot of growing pains. But
Yes, very
finally,
similar.
after running through the mill of shitty promotions,
Yeah,
finally I got hooked back up with Cody Hawk, and man, it seemed like after that, I was right where I wanted to go in the beginning. Around that guy, that brain, that knowledge, because he's been around all of them, man. He's been around the WWE guys, he's been around WCW guys, he's trained guys that have made it to WWE, and TNA and Impact, or yeah, Impact,
yeah, Impact
Lucha
now.
Underground, Ring of Honor. You know, he has a big hand in a lot of their careers. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That
so
was
let's give
really
a shout out to
underrated.
Cody Hawk anyway. Just congrats. I believe he's getting, is it the Mentor Award that he's supposedly getting very soon.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah, mentor
trainer
trainer.
award.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
congrats to him on that because he's had a hell of a career himself. So, and you know,
absolutely.
as you've been trained by him and worked with him, and currently work with him, hell of a talent, hell of a guy. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely,
all right.
absolutely.
So what was your let's say what was your first big incoming into the wrestling? So after all these little indie shows, what was your first big opening?
Uh, when we started, started Rockstar, uh, we were trying to build something in Dayton, something new, something fresh, and a lot of the a lot of the HWA originals had a hand in that. You know what I mean? Like you had your Cody Hawks, your Ben Chimeras, I mean Ed Gonzalez's, all these guys that were in HWA, and at that time, you know, they were kind of what laid the foundation for Rockstar, and guys like me, we were coming in to be kind of like the younger talent, like the today's talent. So it was pretty much the past and the present trying to come together to create an awesome future for everybody. And that thing, man, you know, it ran, man. It ran for a while. And it was good. But over time, man, business change, people change, and you just gotta go. You gotta go where you gotta go. And unfortunately, uh, that deal went south, like a lot of deals in this business does. It went south, and you know, I chose to go and stay with the guy who took me under his wing, and wherever he's went, I followed. Like I'm not that guy who burns bridges. And if I have burned a bridge, there's probably a good reason why I've done it. I would like to avoid burning bridges in pro wrestling. Because I feel like, why can't we all work together? Why can't we all get along? But in a perfect world, it would be that way. But just like anything else, there's different attitudes, there's different uh, egos, and you know, sometimes you gotta go and make your own bridge, man. You gotta go and make your own path, and we did our thing down at Rockstar, and it was time to go do something else, and that's what we did.
Yeah, you
Wherever
stayed
Cody
loyal.
Hawk is,
You stayed loyal to
I
your
stayed.
guys.
Yeah, and I hear that old saying in the business. There's no loyalty in the business. There's truly no loyalty in the business. Like, everybody can go wherever they want to.
Yeah,
That's true, but there is loyalty in the business. Why would a guy? Why would a guy that doesn't have to take you under his wing, doesn't have to give you the time of day, why would he come and help you out just for you to turn around and fuck him? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, what's the sense in that? I never understood that, and this goes beyond wrestling. I never understood that in life. If someone takes the time out to help you get from this level to that level, that's the last guy on the earth that you want to, fuck over. And fuck, man, I was taught that as a man. I was taught that as a performer.
yeah,
Never
I
bite the hand
completely
that
agree
feeds
with
you.
that.
Never bite the hand that feeds you. Never screw over the guy who, you know, helps you out. And for me personally, that's just how I'm built, man. I'm loyal to that nature. Fuck, man. Like I said, in a perfect world, why can't we all make money together? Why can't we all get along? But at the end of the day, you know, some people's egos are just fucking that. It's just too much, man. And
Yep.
every we all can't play in the same sandbox at the end of the day.
Nope. There's not at this point. This isn't today's wrestling. Today's wrestling booming, lots of money. What year was this? Would you say
What
when
back
when
in
everything
Rockstar
went
days?
down? Yeah, back when
Uh,
you left Rockstar.
Probably. Uh, I'd say it had to have been 2013, maybe 20. yeah, 2013, 2014.
Okay.
I'm leaning I'm leaning more towards 2013.
Okay. And the
Um,
money it wasn't in wrestling as it is today. So there isn't enough.
well, like I said, I'm a guy who, shit, man, life happens to me, Like I have a busy, hectic life outside the ring, and
Yeah.
sometimes shit goes south. And at that time, I was spending more time in the pro wrestling than I was with my own family. And I was losing time with my family time, and I understand. I understand. I get it. That's the sacrifice you make as a pro wrestler.
Did you
Family.
did you have kids at this point?
Yes,
Okay. So
yes,
you
yes,
had
yes, yes,
kids and
yes.
you were you married?
Yes.
Okay,
Got
so you had
got married
kids
in
and you
2012.
were married and you were a lot on the road, a lot of doing a lot of wrestling shows, which is taking away from what you're saying is the family time.
Every week I was doing something, man, with wrestling. I was just trying to stay involved with it, trying to do whatever I could to get noticed. Like I said, after I hooked back up with Cody Hawk, it was green light, man. I didn't I didn't want to slow down because I felt like I took that hiatus that I took the first time. I wanted to make up for it.
Yeah.
So, here I am around the guy that was going to have would probably have been one of the head trainers there, that helped train me. Without a shadow of a doubt, if I would have been able to make the training at HWA back in 2001, there's no doubt in my mind that Cody wouldn't have been one of the guys, you know, to help train me. It most likely would have been less him and Ambrose, But
And you're
shit
talking
happens,
Dean
man.
Ambrose at this point, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, John Moxley, I know him as John
Johnny.
Mox.
There you go.
But man, I was bitter about it at the time when I was younger. I was bitter. I had a chip on my shoulder, and that's what kind of set the wrong tone in the locker room, some of the locker rooms, because a lot of guys thought, oh, who's this kid think he is? He walks in here like he owns the fucking place. He thinks he's a fucking superstar. And I did, man. I walked in there like my shit didn't stink. I walked in there like I just had this cocky attitude, but it wasn't. It was just. It couldn't have been further from the truth, It wasn't. It had nothing to do with anybody or disrespecting anybody.
No, you
I
had
was unhappy
confidence,
with.
right?
I had confidence in my ability.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to direct it. I didn't know
Hmm.
how to perform it right. I mean, I'm one of the most talented guys in the locker room, but if I can't go out there and make sense of what I'm doing, then I'm just a talented piece of shit.
Yeah, that's where the
And
booking comes in, and that's when your writers and whoever's doing the matches with you needed to help guide you as well. But if you, like you
absolutely.
said, you came up with a bunch of people that didn't really know what they were doing. They knew what they were doing, but they didn't know exactly what they were doing great. So everybody was working at the same pace in your early days. So I mean, it makes sense you came up like that.
Yeah, uh, you know, I had to learn everything the hard way, and fuck, man, I'm still learning. You don't ever stop learning. In the
Right.
wrestling business, you can be the best thing that ever came out of this business. You're always going to still continue to learn something. You're always going to continue to still pay your dues. That's just the way it works. You never stop paying your dues in the wrestling world. But it took me a long time, man. I was raised to be a humble guy, but I got around the wrong crowd, uh, trying to trying to do this, and I got lost in the shuffle, man, being in the wrong crowd. And it wasn't until I got underneath Cody's wing, man. You know, he kind of beat that shit out of me, and he did. I can't tell you how many times I was in there with Cody and I'd fuck up a spot or I'd mess something up, and he'd kick the shit out of me. He'd let me know.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? you know. But that's what you got
Because
to do, man.
people
That's the
aren't
only way
worried.
kids are gonna learn.
He's not worried if you hurt yourself. He's worried if you hurt somebody else. That's
Absolutely.
that's where
You
most of
know.
them really get onto you. Because if you're lifting up people, you're putting people on their backs. If you drop them on their head, you drop them on their neck instead of their back. That's crucial injuries.
It's funny, because people who look at this and they put the fake label on it.
Yes.
They don't understand. they don't understand the part of this is physical. This is, this is contact. This is a contact sport, dude.
I think a
You know,
lot of that, the label of fake, was really put on it because of a couple of guys. Vince McMahon was one, and then ESPN really didn't push pro wrestling. It didn't consider it as an actual sport. You never saw it on sports highlights, stuff like that. So, yeah,
well,
people started to really think it wasn't real. It was more of an
the
entertainment.
internet, as soon as the internet came around, the cat was out of the bag pretty much.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
that's the way it was. But fuck, man, it's no different than any other form of entertainment. I mean,
yeah.
you know,
I mean,
um,
are the Avenger
we're
movies
just
real? No. Yeah,
is magic real? Is
yeah.
magic real? This is where I want to say is magic real?
Right.
I
Oh,
mean, do
but
do I
you
believe
enjoy
that a
it.
guy? Do I believe that if you were a magician and you were standing in front of me and you could levitate yourself right here in front of me, am I supposed to sit here and believe that out of every human being I've ever came in contact with, this human being right here has broken all laws of physics, and he can just completely levitate over me, over my house, and come right back down to me? I mean, the fucking guy can fly. Like,
Right.
am I supposed to believe that, or is there an illusion that I'm not getting? You know,
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is, man. We're entertainers, man. We're athletes, and we get hurt, man. We tear our bodies up doing this. This isn't for the faint of heart. You either are made for this or you're not. You can call it fake all day long, but I challenge anybody who wants to come to a training session,
Yeah.
roll around, take some bumps, hit those ropes,
I was gonna say,
take
just hit the ropes. Hitting the ropes alone, dude, that's a workout.
I mean, just come to a training session, and then when you leave that training session, I'll promise you, it's going to change your whole mind frame on what is fake and what is not fake.
Yeah, I completely agree. And anybody that says, well, the matches are fixed, well, I truly believe some UFC fights are fixed. I truly believe the Super Bowl is fixed. The NBA championship is fixed. It's all ran by Las Vegas, in my opinion. So you can never say, well, it's fixed. This is fixed or that's fixed because at the end of the day, it's still a sport. You could still very
Everyone's
get hurt.
everyone's going to have their own perception of it.
Yes.
Everyone's going to have. I'm not worried about entertaining the people who shit on it.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, those are people that you're never gonna win over. You're never gonna make happy with it. Even if they do still watch it in some sort of way, they're always gonna still run it in the mill. You know, as far as I'm concerned, those people are entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned with those people. I'm concerned with the people who still believe in this. I'm concerned with the people that still love this,
Yeah.
that
Truly
still
enjoy
want
it. Yeah.
they want to come and they want to escape their shitty lives, or they want to escape reality. Fuck, man, I've been there. I was that kid growing up where I need to find something to escape my shitty existence, my shitty life, my shitty upbringing, and wrestling was my escape. Every time it came on TBS or USA, I was fucking there. I was glued to the TV in my own world. I owe a lot to pro wrestling, man. I mean, it kept me from going down the same footsteps as my father. A lot of people don't understand that, but when you come from somebody who has demons like that and has an addiction, you know, a lot of kids follow in those same footsteps. If they don't have something positive to keep their attention, they go down the same road because they want to please their father in some way or another because they're so desperate to have a relationship with him. And I was, man, but one of the only things that me and my dad ever had close with each other was pro wrestling, and you know, it kept me from following down that same destructive path. And it's been one of those things that I've always wanted to do. Once I grown up, that was it, man.
Yeah.
Never wanted to be a cop, never wanted to be a lawyer, never wanted to be a firefighter. I wanted to be a fucking pro wrestler. That was it.
Yep. You went
Nothing
out and
more.
achieved it too.
I achieved it. I achieved it in the way of I'm doing it. I would love to achieve it in the way to where I can make a full-time living out of it and be under a contract. That'd be extremely nice.
Yeah.
But there's pros and cons with everything. Even if I got signed today, You know, there's pros to that, there's cons to that. Okay, well, I got signed, I worked my ass off. Now I'm in the company. Now
Yeah.
my foot's in the door. But what's the other side of the coin?
Yeah.
What's the other side?
We'll get to
Now
that.
am I coming in?
We'll get to that later because I have some things I'll run by you. Let's talk
Right.
about a potential big break that you had. What about the TNA Impact that you could have the deal there? That could have been huge for you.
TNA Gut Check. They were doing these things, man. Going around the country. They go to different towns and they try to get all these kids together to come and do basically like a it's basically like a tryout, you know, like that's what I took from it.
Yeah.
It was a Impact Wrestling tryout. You know, you get kids from different states and they come meet in this one area and you just go over, you know, you go over a bunch of spots in the ring. It's a big training session, big tryout.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they aired this on their actual live TV shows, right? Wasn't the Gut Check kind of like the NXT for the WE? Did they air these on the actual TV?
Uh, I don't think they aired. I don't think they aired it the first time they were doing it. Like
Okay.
when I went and did my Gut Check, it was not. They say that it was a live tour taping for an Impact tour, but
Yeah.
I don't I don't know if that ever made it or not.
Okay.
I know that they used the Gut Check thing as one of their storylines
Yeah,
with
they did.
one of the guys, but I
And
don't know, man.
you were on a Gut Check. You had a very good lineup on your Gut Check. If I'm not wrong, you had Joey Ryan on there, right?
I'm not sure if he was on there or not.
Okay.
I
I
can't
know
say
he
if he was.
was on a Gut Check. He might not have been on yours. He might have been on the second one. So
Yeah,
some guys
but
can make it from the Gut Check challenge.
I had guys on there, man, from Chicago. I had guys on there from Atlanta, Michigan. You know, I was one of two that came from the Ohio area. You know, so fuck, man. You know, we're just in there. We're in there. We're running spots, and then we get paired up with each other to have like a 4 minute match. And if your 4 minute match was whoever has the most impressive 4 minute match that told a decent story as the character they give you, then
Okay.
from what I understood, you were given an opportunity to be putting up for like kind of like a dark match, and I was one of the matches that you know was impressive. But you got to understand, had I not have been under Cody Hawk's wing at the time, or have you know, or had a few rock star shows under my belt, I probably would have sucked, you know, because I would have
Yeah.
went off of the shitty shit that I was being taught before I got underneath his wing. So,
So
you know,
you go through the Gut Check. You're
go
one of
through
the
the
few
gut
that
check.
made it through.
I was running. They made me. I think Jeff Jarrett at the time was involved in the company.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett was walking back and forth, um, you know, keeping an eye on us. D'Lo Brown, I think, was one of the. Yeah, D'Lo Brown was the trainer guy. Was the guy down there training us. So you know, I ran the ropes 3 minutes straight. That fucking killed me, but I did it. Um, Took some bumps, did some basic lockups, basic international starts of a match, and then he separated all of us. Well, you're going to work with this guy. That guy's going to work with that guy. You're going to be the heel. You're going to be the face. Yada yada yada. I want you to give me a 3 or 4 minute match. Tell me a good story. Make sense of everything that you're doing. So by the end of when your match is over, I can tell you what you did wrong, what you did right. And you know, I think one of the only things that was my biggest fuck up in my match was my footwork. You
Okay.
know, uh, I did everything like I told a decent story with the guy I was working with, but it was just, you know,
Well,
that
the
that was
guy
one
you
thing that
worked
he.
with, pretty popular guy himself. So
Well, not the first time,
not the
not
first
the
time.
dark match.
Okay.
No, the guy that I was working with, I think he was from Chicago. I can't
Okay.
remember his name, but yeah, we went in there. You know, I was the heel, you know, which
Yeah.
you know I had the easier role, but
Yeah.
it was just my footwork, man. You know, like I was getting hung up on. I was just kind of rushing spots. You know, you get nervous, this is like a huge opportunity, and you can't help it, man. Nerves kick in.
Yeah.
And but overall, other than my footwork being not that great, um, that was it, man.
Everything else went smooth.
He thought it was decent enough to put me out there for 3 minutes with their suicide character at the time, and fuck, like I didn't even have any time to really process all that, man. Coming through the entrance, getting in the ring. I mean, I'm a fucking nobody.
Yeah.
You got people coming down the bleachers to get their seats. You don't know who's paying attention, who's not paying attention.
Yeah.
For me, that was pretty cool, man. But for the 3 quick minutes that it lasted, it happened so fast. I just didn't have any time to really fucking process it.
Yeah, and you
You
did
know,
get paired with Suicide at the time. This is probably when he coming in and he was pretty hot, right? Or has he even made his real appearance yet?
I think that character was a back and forth character. They had
Okay.
him on the air for a minute. Because remember when they did their own video game,
Yes, they
and they
did. That's
based
where
their
he's
whole video
featured.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they based their whole video game around that character. So
I begged for that game when I was a kid, man. I begged to get that, and it let me down. Yes.
it wasn't. Yeah, it was just a whole different.
Yeah.
It wasn't no.
It wasn't WE games.
Right.
Yeah,
But
man.
dude, I don't know, man. It was cool for what it was, man. But I think what I took away from all that is being able to be backstage and
Yeah, you were in that locker
pick all
room.
the yeah, and I was trying to be humble and respectful. I wasn't trying to like be one of those marks in there, being a pain in the ass, trying to bother anybody. But when you're around that type of deal, and this is like one of those once in a lifetime opportunities, if you don't take advantage of it, man, that's on you, And
Yeah.
fuck, man, I tried to pick as many brains as I could without getting, chewed out or somebody, kicking me out of the locker room. But I did it in a humble way, I had a humble presence about me when I was doing it.
Yeah, you didn't just
A
run
lot
up
of
to him like you were a fan.
right. And a
Yeah.
lot of those guys, man, they saw that I'm hungry, for knowledge, that I'm hungry to learn. There's guy, fuck, man, believe it or not, where my bag was, the next locker over, uh, had somebody shit in it. I didn't know who it was. I
Huh.
go in there, and I'm not touching the guy's shit or anything, but I'm over there just kind of,
Sean
you
Waltman in
know,
the company at this time?
well, no. It was Austin Aries,
Oh yeah, he
and
would be one too. Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
was next to, well, I was next to Aries, and he,
Yeah.
fuck, man, I just tried to pick his brain,
Yeah.
and he wasn't. He had that dickish attitude, but he wasn't a dickhead to me, and
Okay.
he was actually pretty decent in telling me, throwing me some knowledge. And then after him, Brian Kendrick, he shared some knowledge with me,
Yeah, I love Brian Kendrick.
and and fuck, man, I made my way all the way to. I didn't as much as I wanted to get some information from the Dudleys. I didn't really bother them,
They
but
might charge you some money.
yeah, probably. Fuck, I don't know. But James Storm was another guy, man, that
Yeah.
gave me some really good advice. And Christopher Daniels was a really good guy. He was super cool. And fuck, man, AJ Styles
Yeah,
was
that's your big one.
he was really fucking super cool to me, man. He just told me, hey, keep doing what you're doing, stand out, be unique. I don't give a damn what you got to do. Just be unique. If you come out looking like everybody else and doing everybody else's shit, you know,
Yeah.
you're just gonna be another guy. You want to be. AJ told me that you want to be that guy that maybe you didn't have the best match of the night, but you're the one who the kids are talking about in the car ride home. You're the one who the kids are going to want to fucking bug their parents to come back and see. That's who you want to be. And so I got that, that I thought that was super cool from AJ. And,
Yeah, because at the
I
time,
thought that was, I
that
thought
was
that
AJ. AJ was the guy people wanted to
he was,
see, and Sting. Was Sting in the company at this time?
He was, but he wasn't there.
Yeah, so those
Uh,
two are normally who ran TNA. Those are the guys you wanted to see at TNA. So that's cool
well,
that he said that.
uh, the main event that night was AJ against Christopher Daniels, I believe.
Yeah, I mean
But
those are great talents.
yeah, but AJ was nice enough to lend me some advice, and he wasn't just me. He said he lended his advice to some of the other guys that were with me in the gut check thing too.
And that's cool that
But
he did that. He went out of his way to do that. I mean, not many guys are doing that, so that's cool.
well, he knew that we were there for that. We
Yeah,
we wasn't part of the Impact roster, so he felt like, okay, well, these kids are here to do this. Why not? Why don't I just like share a little bit of advice? And that's super cool. When a guy like that who is on top like that will take the time to do that for somebody. Like that's the guys you want to be role models. Too.
yeah.
That's the guys you want to represent. And
And
you know,
AJ is a great one. I think he's one of the best. He's one of the most not egotistical people. He's very down to earth type of guy. He
absolutely.
lives in his family in Georgia, stuff like that. The dude's very humble and yeah, very normal guy.
I think the last guy that I got to get some advice from that helped me along the way was Jeff Hardy.
Really?
And the only reason, and this happened, like again, this happened by fate. Jeff Hardy was just coming back to the company, so
Okay.
this was coming from a time where Jeff Hardy was battling his demons, and
Yeah.
he kind of fucked up a pay-per-view with Sting,
Yeah.
and they fired him.
Yep.
Well, he was just coming back to work that night, so he was kind of standoffish from the rest of the locker room. He was just out doing his own thing, and I just happened to be outside, um, kind of, kind of collecting myself and just hanging out. And I see the guy over here next to me. He's having a cigarette, and I'm like, oh, the fuck, that's Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to approach him because he was in his own world. But at the same time, it's like, dude, I'm here to pick as many brains as I can. So I just went over there, hey Jeff, do you have a minute? I'm just wanting you to, I just want to know, can you give me some advice? And man, he was super down to earth and just super humble and just super fucking cool, dude. And I explained to him like the gimmick that I wanted to do, where I wanted to go with it, and he was all about it.
All right.
He said, he told me, you know, he said, unfortunately, there's so many underrated guys in this business that could be making so much money, and you could be the best thing that ever fucking came in this business and just not get picked up. That's just the way it works. Or he said, how many guys do you think are out there right now that are so damn talented and they don't have a contract? And then you got guys out here that are not as talented, but yet they have a contract. He said, you just gotta understand that it's not just you.
Yeah.
You can do so much, but if it's not the machine that is willing to take a chance on you, then you know you're just going to keep floating around out there in orbit. And he gave me some advice on what to do with my character, with face paint and all that stuff at the time.
Yeah, 'cause he's big into
And I
face
ran,
paint.
yeah,
That's cool.
and I ran with it, man. And that was my moment, my Impact Wrestling TNA moment.
I want to detour for a second. Growing up, who was your idol?
Uh, well,
Like your favorite guy that you had to watch?
say Hogan.
Hogan?
Hogan was my favorite.
Okay. Funny
Yeah,
thing,
because I mean,
Jeff Hardy was mine.
Hogan was my Hogan was my favorite coming up. You gotta understand, I
Yeah.
came up through the '80s.
Yeah, he's a
Hogan was the
superstar,
guy.
man. Hogan was. There's nothing wrong with liking Hogan. If you think
Fucking
professional wrestling,
Hogan.
Hogan's the number one guy.
Well,
Maybe not today.
Hogan,
It's,
yeah, Hogan, Warrior, Taker, Road Warriors, guys like that.
Yeah.
Bret Hart. Bret Hart played a major role,
Yeah.
in my life.
Everybody loved Brett.
I got to go to a wrestling show at the Hare Arena, the legendary Hare Arena, back
Yeah.
in the day, and Bret Hart, super cool, walked up to was getting out of his car and walked up to the gate where all of his fans was, man, and it was really cool enough to sit here and just like chat with all of us.
Yeah.
And at the time, Brett had the belt. You know, he could have superstarred all of us and just kept
Oh yeah.
walking. But
Yep.
he went over there, man, and he was just really good to his fans. And
As he
you know,
was, yeah.
now when I hear somebody talk shit about Bret Hart, it's like, dude, fuck you, man. You don't
Yeah.
know Bret Hart. You don't know what kind of guy he really is or the shit he had to go through. You know, like out of all these guys that's ever came up with this company, Bret Hart's one of the good ones.
And Bret Hart was a fucking mega star. We're not talking, a regular superstar. We're talking a mega star. Bret Hart was the man. You know what I mean?
Oh
He
yeah.
was Canada's superhero. And the shit
Well,
that
fuck.
happened.
I mean, when fucking when Hogan left WWE and decided to go to WCW,
Yeah,
they needed another Hogan,
and it was
and
Bret.
they tried to make Lex Luger the next Hogan, but Lex Luger just didn't cut it.
He didn't cut it.
So, you know, Vince wanted Vince wanted normally. I don't know if you know this, but Vince
Okay.
wanted Luger to be the next Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, of course. He was Mr.
So,
America, I think, at the time. He was wearing the American pants. He
yeah,
fucking rode
he
out in that
was
SUV. Yeah.
yeah he was building Luger to be his next Hogan at the time,
He
but
was built. He should have. You know what I mean? He was the prototypical Vince McMahon type of guy. This guy was a monster at the time. Yeah.
Luger had all the tools, and I did like Lex Luger as a talent.
Yeah.
I just felt like in some of his matches there was like little bullshit mistakes that he could have worked on, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't know why they never gave the belt to Luger. You know,
I think his
obviously there's a
promo
reason
game
behind that.
is probably the promos. They weren't as strong as people around him.
Could very well be, you know. But I think Bret Hart took that torch after Hogan left and ran with it for a while.
Yes, he did. And it was kind of weird to see what happened at the Hall of Fame this year with that fan that rushed him. I'm glad some of the guys threw some jabs at that guy. They punched him in the face a couple of good times. Um,
Well,
but to
you
get
know,
back to where you were, Jeff Hardy actually is my idol growing up. The Hardy Boys were my all-time. They're my all-time favorite team. Jeff Hardy's my all-time favorite wrestler. That's who really got me into wrestling growing up. So that was pretty cool that you got to meet him, and he kind of moved your way into wrestling as much as he has moved my way.
absolutely. He had an influence on me back in the 90s. I mean, him and his brother.
Yeah,
Fuck, man, you know, you're talking about 90,
9 to
97, 98, 99,
yeah,
2000.
yep,
Dude, you know, before I graduated high school, that was the shit that I was inspired from was Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, the Dudleys.
yeah.
You know, that was the thing back then, you know.
All right, let's
I
transition
think
into what happened after the TNA got checked. So you leave TNA, um, you 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 didn't get signed. So what happens at
no,
that point?
I was given this fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
Well, contact me. Here's my email. Contact me, you know, and we'll go on further from there. And man, I must have emailed that fucking email a thousand times and I never heard anything back from it. And
yeah, and that's sad that they did
I
that to
was,
you.
and then I was at a show one time with Al Snow, and I was talking to him a little bit about it, and he kind of told me, you know, pretty much, hey, you know, it is pretty much more of a money grab. You know what I mean? He said, you know, it wasn't like they were trying to fuck over guys. It's like, but at the same time, you know, the company was suffering in certain places and they needed money, and that was just a
Yeah,
quick money grab for them.
yeah. People didn't realize that TNA was in a very bad hole.
Well, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, it's frustrating when you bust your ass to get somewhere and you get on top of a hill and then you kind of get knocked off that hill. You know,
In your
it
case, they
discourages
just
you a
left
little
you on
bit.
the hill.
Yeah, man, pretty
Yeah,
much just missed the boat.
yeah.
And fuck, man, you know what do you do from there? I just went back to doing rock star shit, man.
So you just
Until
called Cody back up.
yeah, and you know, fuck, man, you know that was it, man. I went back to doing stuff in Dayton, and then when that shit went the way that it went,
Yep.
we started doing stuff out in Middletown again, and then Hamilton, and worked our way up from Hamilton all the way to where we're at now, you know. And you know, we had that period where we took a break. You know, we were with a promotion called CWAI, and the promoter of that promotion had good intentions. He's a nice guy,
Yeah.
but other doors started opening up for him, and I don't think he understood that when you sign up to be a promoter, you're either all in or you're not in at all.
Yes.
And he just couldn't commit to the boys as a promoter. So that company really was at a dead end, and there was nowhere else to go with it. So
For
we
people
kind
that
of just
don't
all went our,
know what a promoter is, that's pretty much your boss, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the person running the company. So,
Well, without the promoter, you don't have a show, man. You know, the
yeah.
promoter is pretty much God in your,
Yeah.
in your promotion.
So if he's not
Uh,
around, what are you doing?
yeah,
Yeah.
the fucking inmates can't run the asylum, bro. I mean,
Not
it's not,
not there.
but it came to a dead end. We all went our own ways for a while, and then uh, the guy, I think his name's Brian. Yeah,
Yeah.
Brian. He owns a Future Great comic store down in Hamilton.
Yep.
He moved to the area, opened up a comic book store. Used to come out to the CWAI shows. Became a huge fan of everyone's work and everyone's goals, and decided, hey, I want to take over. I want to be a promoter now. I want to put wrestling here in Hamilton, positive wrestling here in Hamilton. I want to build a really, really great professional an indie professional wrestling show here in Hamilton, and hopefully, with all the right guys, we can build this up so much that we can kind of sort of turn this into maybe another Ring of Honor, or another Impact. And I'm thinking, well, God, man, that's a hell of a goal, man. That's
Yeah,
going
at
to take a
least
lot of work.
should start small and make it just another rock star, right? But he's going for the big
I
dogs.
mean, I mean, just another promotion to be a breeding ground for something greater, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And man, we had that fight with Hamilton, man. Hamilton did not want wrestling there, man. For
Yep.
God,
Yeah,
they were
you
just so
guys
skittish
did
about
fight
it.
them. I think you even postponed
Fought
your
them,
first show, correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we fought them and we won, man.
Yes, you
We
did.
won. All it takes, you know, and this is me going back to the people that they bash it with the fake bullshit.
Yeah.
All it takes is just come yourself. Come yourself, experience it yourself, do some research, do your homework, get out into the real world. Don't be in your fucking phone or your laptop.
Right.
Come out into the real world and experience something. It may or may not change your mind, but nine times out of 10, it's going to change your mind. You're going to understand that maybe this isn't what you thought it was. Maybe this isn't all negative. Maybe there is positive here. Maybe this can bring business to this area.
So,
I mean,
what is the promotion called right now?
future great wrestling.
Okay, Future Great Wrestling in Hamilton, Ohio. They did win their
Yes.
case. It is a standing show, and they have shows every Friday nights at 7:30.
Yep.
Yeah, and you are normally on each card, unless you don't need to be, But normally you are on the cards.
Yes. Yes. This past Friday was my first night off in like God 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a good
I'm
thing.
usually there, man.
You're not bringing home thousands, but hey, you're getting to work. You're getting to work with guys that you like to work with, and you see a future with this place as well.
Bro, I will go on a straight shoot here.
Yeah,
Uh,
shoot.
it's the best fucking locker room I've ever been in my entire life. It's
Yeah,
the
you got a
best
fun
locker room I've
crowd,
ever
man.
been in. I mean, these guys, we all take care of each other. We all have the same goal. I mean, we're not going to always knock it out of the park. That's impossible. But
Right.
you learn from, when you don't hit a home run all the time, you learn from it. And the goal that we have is such a high goal, and with everybody that is so tight with this group, I mean, I'll be damned to say, man, like with me, Cody, and all these other guys that are together, man, we in that area, we are our own elite, man. We have
Yeah.
our own group of guys that stick together, you know, and that's the way it is. Like when we were talking about a few months back, well, where the fuck is Kenny gonna go, man? Is he gonna get signed by the E, or is he gonna stick with his boys? Well, I always thought, well, some people they take the money, but at
Yeah.
the same time, money ain't everything. It's just not.
That's
You
true.
know, friendships is a better payday at the end of the day. Loyalty is a better payday at the end of the day. You know, and sometimes people take that money and they go up there and they're making a lot of money and they got a pretty decent living, but they're miserable as fuck
Yeah.
because they're not doing what they want to do. They're not achieving their full potential. You know, like if I go up there and I know that I've worked really hard on a character in the indies, and then finally I get signed and I get in the door, well now you're just gonna make me a fucking joke. You
Yeah.
know, like for me personally, rather if this is the you know, rather if this is the mind frame of, well, you don't know how to do business, or if you knew how to do business, then you would accept it. No, dude, I have I have pride in myself. I hold myself to a certain standard. If I've worked my ass off in the indies, and I finally worked my ass off good enough to be good enough to get a contract, don't fucking water me down. Don't turn me into a joke. If I was good to get signed, let me be good to run. You know, don't fucking cut my legs off once I'm under a contract.
Yeah.
You know, I hate seeing that shit, dude.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
do it too.
understand. I don't understand why WWE does that, man. I've never understood that. I understand that they have to have some sort of kooky characters every now and then. I get it.
Yeah, they gotta
But dude,
to get that copyright on those names.
but
Right now,
don't
what they're
fucking do
doing
the
with
guy in the
the
middle, bro.
they were the War Raiders. I don't know what the hell they're called. The Viking Experience, the Viking Raiders. I don't know. Right now, they're really hurting them by keep changing their names. Um, that to me, I don't like that either. I'm right there with you.
You know,
Um,
those guys were guys that were on the indies, and
yeah.
they're doing whatever thing that I just told you about. They busted their ass to get where they're at, and
One thing
you
about
know,
Future Great Wrestling that I really like, there's something in the cards for everybody. So like you got the entertainment side. I forget his name, the musician guy. He's really funny. When
Ricky Glam,
yes, Ricky Glam. When I went there, I
yeah.
saw him. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a joke. You know what I mean? Like, I really enjoyed his segment. His segment was so funny and it was really good. Um,
Well,
he
you
became one of
gotta
my
have,
favorites on your cards.
you gotta understand the talent you have, and you gotta understand where the personalities go.
Yeah,
Ricky Glam, I'm not saying that the guy's not athletic.
yeah,
I'm just saying that he's not a guy that I'm gonna that he's not a guy that I would expect to go out there and do stuff that I would expect Space Invader to do.
right.
When I see Ricky Glam, I'm thinking, okay, now if he does do anything athletic, it'd top it off. You know what I mean? It'd be that shock factor for me. But I see a guy going out there and being like a kind of like a Dr. Creep in a way, kind of like a I don't know. He's got that personality, that flamboyant talk show host,
Yeah,
but brother love type.
does remind me
I
of
don't
Brother
know.
Love
He
a little bit.
he just fits those colorful personalities where they talk shit.
I
You know what I mean?
can't
But they
put my
can't
finger on
do
his
anything.
name. Popular talk show. Was in WCW, WWE. He reminds me of him. Top manager who always carried around the tennis racket. Man, what's his name?
Jim Cornette.
Jim
Jim
Cornette.
Cornette.
He could be the next Jim Cornette. He comes out with a guitar, right? So
Yep.
what if he just hit somebody with the guitar? You know, stuff like that. There's always those elements that he could potentially develop into. He could be another Jim Cornette.
Absolutely. But the one thing that I love about Ricky Glam is that he he's got, if you pay attention, if you've been watching wrestling for years, you can tell that he's got a few personalities
Yes,
in him. But he's his own thing, man.
he
He's
is.
unique.
He's very
He's
unique.
got this 1980 Motley Crue Hair Club for Man thing going on, man, and
Yeah,
I love it. I just think that's so unique. Like, here's a guy that looks like an outcast from Motley Crue,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, he's in here talking tough, and you know damn well he can't do anything. But
That was
fuck, what if you get
classic
in there?
Jim.
What if you get in there and he does know how to do something?
Yeah,
Like mind blown.
yeah, yeah. He's a very talented guy. I enjoy every minute of him. So yeah, you got some other really badass roster. You got Brian Beach. The dude is $1 million on the looks. He's got great hair, the great body. He's got a hell of a set.
Yep.
moves. The he's a badass, legit. And then Amos is very good as well. Great look. You have Cody Hawk, the workhorse. You know what I mean? The legend.
Yep.
Mitch
Yep.
Magnus. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? You have a stacked roster, and then your champion Space Invader. You know, very good. Young guy, young, but very
Young
talented.
guy, young guy, still learning the ropes.
Yeah,
But you know, he's where I should have been at that age. He's where I should have been coming up. You know, he's learning the right way. He
yeah,
thankfully for him, he got put underneath the right wing at the right time. You know,
yeah. He did.
um, God knows, some guys, man, they don't make it through the mill, man. Some guys they get lost in the shuffle of wrestling for shitty promotion after shitty promotion, and then they fucking drop out. They quit. They think that that's all this is, and they're done because they've never seen the brighter side of being in a really decent promotion with decent talent, decent people.
Yep.
So thankfully that I was able to stick around with this long enough to make it out of the shitholes and finally be a part of something special.
Yeah, because I think you are a part of something special up there in Hamilton, Ohio. Let's talk about. Let's see here. Your little move set. So you like to do a lot of upside down stuff. You like to do handstands. You like to go into the turnbuckles, and you're kind of like on your shoulders or on your head. So it's kind of like a handstand up on the turnbuckles.
That's what you would call it, I would assume. I mean, yeah, man, um, I did gymnastics when I was a kid. I was in martial arts when I was a kid. I did all these things, and like I said, I used to be a kid that used to go to raves all the time. So I learned how to break dance, and I realized that I could do those things. Well, I sat back and I'm thinking, God, how can I separate myself from everyone else?
Yeah,
And legit, this was a real time. This was a real deal. I'm in the locker room and I'm looking around the entire locker room. I'm looking at this guy, I'm looking at that guy, I'm looking at this guy, and I shit you not, I went out there and watched each and every one of them. How do they enter the ring? How do they come through the curtain? How do they get in the ring? How do they perform in the ring? What do they do at this moment? What do they do at that moment? I watched everybody's damn match that night, and then I realized not one, not one of them is coming in there on their hands. Not one of them is doing anything unique as far as strapping pyro to yourself, crazy LED lights. No one's doing any of that. As ridiculous as it sounds, I took a gamble with it. I said, okay, well, I'm going to be the most ridiculous looking guy in the locker room. I'm going to have face paint on. I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to have LED lights on me. I'm going to have pyro strapped to me. I'm going to look like a fucking hot mess. But
yeah,
if I can be different, if I can go out there and be different and be unique and be talked about as far as the entrance, that's good. Because when you see me come out, you're taking in all of this shit that I'm already doing. But then you don't expect me to enter the ring walking on my hands. That's another thing that you have to try to process. Well, God, this look at this fucking guy. Like he's pretty fucking athletic. I mean, we were in the CWA locker room in Nova from ECW. Simon Dean, he came down to perform for us, and out of everybody in that locker room, everyone in the locker room, dude, I was the guy that he remembered. I was the guy that
yeah,
he was most fascinated with.
yeah. You're
He
very
said,
unique.
if we would, he said, if we'd be in, if this was WWE right now, that guy right there would be the one being offered the job because he's charismatic, he's creative, you know, and fuck, when I entered the ring with Sabu, Sabu was even impressed with it. And to me, I've done this my whole wrestling career. To me, I'm just doing
Yeah,
a fucking handstand,
right to
walking
you.
on my
Yeah,
hands. But to other guys that are not used to seeing that anywhere they work, Sabu fucking works all around the world, dude.
yeah,
He's around he's around different talent all around the world, and he told me straight up, I work all around the fucking world. No one enters the ring that way. No
no,
one comes to the ring that way. You have your own thing, man. You need to keep it. That's your signature. Don't change it up. I don't give a fuck. Don't change it up. That's you. That's your own thing. He said, now people will probably fucking rip you off. That's going to happen, but
Yeah.
you're the one who created that. So yeah, man, I got my own thing. I've been doing that for years. I've always entered the ring. That's my trademark. As long as I'm able to do it, man, I'm
I
gonna
like how
continue
you
to do it.
integrate it into your move set as well. You do it off the corner. You do your handstand spinning leg drop, which is really dope. I enjoy that move really well. Um,
Oh, absolutely.
I like how you integrate a lot of the gymnastic type deal into your move set.
Well,
Um,
back in the day, Johnny Mundo, was Johnny Nitro at the time, and
okay.
you know, I watched a lot of his work when he first came in
Yeah, I like them too.
back in 2000, 2004, 2005,
Yeah.
and he would always take his athletic abilities, his gymnastics, and bring it into professional wrestling. And man, you know, I basically use that formula. Well, I'm athletic. I know I can do this shit. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't want to be that stereotype big guy that walks slow in the ring and oh they don't think people oh he's a typical big man, he can't do much, he can do this, he can do that. No, man,
You
I
can
can
go.
move like a cruiserweight.
Yeah. You do
I mean,
springboards. You know
I
you.
can work lucha style if I have to.
Yeah.
You know, I've always tried to uh, kind of train myself on different styles.
And I think
So in
that's
case I'm in a
very
situation,
smart. You never know you never who you put up against. You can go multiple different styles.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the people that you've met. You've been backstage WWE, correct?
One time, yes,
One
one
time.
time.
Yeah. One time. Um. Yeah. Name some
It
legends
was a
that you've met that you enjoyed meeting.
it was a house show. I think it was out in Columbus. House show in Columbus. Jerry the King Lawler, Michael Cole. Uh, these are just guys that took the time to talk to me.
Yeah.
Um, whoever was running catering, I met them. I don't know who they were, but
Yeah.
you know that place, man, is a bunch of chickens with their head cut off, man.
Yeah.
Even on a house show,
Really.
people are running around crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Uh,
And it's a house show. Nobody.
uh,
You know. Who cares? And you're
well,
on TV. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah. Yep. Can't look like a Joe.
uh,
Yeah.
it was a house show, but it's a house show that they were filming for a tour.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's the reason why Jerry Lawler was there. Some of the big
And
name
Cole.
guys were there.
Yeah.
But uh, let's see. I I came in passing with Brock Lesnar, but I did not get to
Don't worry,
approach
he
him. I
wouldn't
did
talk
not
to you
get
anyway.
to,
He doesn't talk to anybody. Um,
probably not.
um,
But
picture I have
that
up
wasn't the
here.
first time. That wasn't the first time that I ever ran across him.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I back when I was trying to get up with HWA, I went to a few OVW shows at the
OVW.
time, and yeah, and this was at a time where they too were developing guys for WWE, and Brock Lesnar was one of the guys. He was tag teaming with Shelton Benjamin at the time,
Yeah.
and I got to run into Brock Lesnar out in the lobby. It was at the time it was called the Grand Victoria Casino, and that's where they ran. And he just happened to be out there, and I kind of went over there and bullshitted him with him for a minute. And at the time,
Yeah.
he was a different Brock Lesnar.
I was gonna say he's
But
a different human being at the time. He's younger.
yep, uh, he was probably 23, 24,
Yeah, and
and
he was not even in WWE at this point, so he didn't have
no,
that egos to
he
him.
he had the contract offer, but
Yeah.
it was probably a year or two before he actually made it on TV. But dude, the main event was Batista versus Kane. And
Yep.
Batista was a different character all in his own
Yeah, he was
at the
Leviathan at
time.
the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So fuck, Batista was there, Cena was there,
Yep.
Orton was there, Lesnar was there, Shelton Benjamin was there. These were all guys that made it to the fucking roster. And
Yeah.
I just Brock was the only one that I came in contact with. Like I met Kane and got my picture taken with Kane. But Lesnar was the only one that was kind of got away from the pack and was out there wandering around the lobby just by himself.
Okay.
And that's how I got the bullshit with him for a minute.
Yeah. That's
But
pretty cool.
you know, that was back. I was still in high school. You know, I was just
Oh,
some
okay.
punk fucking kid. Nobody fucking knew me.
Yeah.
But no, I saw Lesnar in passing, but he was kind of like a little ways down the hallway.
Yeah.
But
And then you
you
mentioned
know,
you've worked with
just certain guys like
Sabu.
that.
The
Yep,
picture I have up here, you have a picture with Animal from the Road Warriors. You know,
yep.
who are some?
Another guy that was awesome to fucking talk to.
Yeah, he is. He's from Ohio too. For
Yep.
people that don't know.
I think
Any
he's
other
more
big
from
names?
Chicago.
Oh, really?
Uh, yeah, I think he's from Chicago.
He probably
I mean,
is.
I think,
His son went to OSU.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I've done some seminars. I've done Kevin Sullivan
Yeah. There's a big
did
one.
his seminar. Ricky Steamboat did his seminar. Shit, who else, man? There's been so many.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Like you said, the
Fuck.
Hardys, AJ Styles. You know, all these guys you're constantly running into, which is really
Well,
cool.
guys that I got in their ear, you know, that I took the opportunity to talk to. Yes.
Yeah.
Gary Wolf. He's one of the members of the Pit Bulls from ECW.
Okay.
Sandman, Sabu. I mean, the list goes on. Ricky Steamboat gave me some really good advice.
Yeah.
I was on a show. A few weeks before the Hall of Fame, and I got a chance to be in the same locker room as Jimmy Hart and the Honky Tonk Man. Got to talk to them,
That's cool.
which was cool.
Yeah.
You know, Steve-O was on that show again too. Got a chance to bullshit with Ric Flair a few times. Ric Flair actually wanted a bunch of us to come party with him one night, but
Oh, wow.
to my better judgment, I said, well,
You're married.
I'm going to be a good guy tonight, and I'm not gonna wind up on TMZ in jail or make the news that I'm some fuck up. So
Yeah. I
you
don't.
know,
I don't blame you.
I probably should have went and partied with Ric Flair. Looking back at it now, but
Well,
you
how
know, it's
old were
Ric
you?
Flair.
Were you
You know,
single at this time?
no, man. Like I
Then
was
no,
married, and
there's no
what
way.
I was telling.
No
That's
way.
what I was telling Rick. I said, no, man, I'll be divorced and in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be
Like,
divorced for
like,
sure. Ric Flair's a party boy. Yeah.
so bullshitted with Rick a few times. Kevin Sullivan really was awesome to talk to because
Yeah. Sullivan's a smart
if
guy.
you research Kevin Sullivan, he's the brainchild behind the NWO,
Yeah.
Bill Goldberg. He's the brainchild for a lot of WCW success.
I was gonna say he was
Uh,
WCW success for most part. Yeah.
Absolutely. Uh, Trying to think who else I came in contact. Val Venis back in the early 2000s. Got to talk to him.
Yeah.
Got the chance to talk to CM Punk at a show in Chicago that I got invited to. Got the bullshit with him, and
CM
this was like 3 years before he got signed.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool. He had his long blonde hair at the time.
Okay. I remember these days.
I think he was working for Impact Wrestling. This
Yeah.
was back in 2003, 2004.
Yep. Yeah, he
So,
was at TNA or Ring of Honor, one of those two.
both, I think.
Yeah, he
Because I think
probably
Ring of
was.
Honor and TNA were working with each other.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's it, man. I
So-
mean, I came across some big guys, man.
Yeah. So where do
Had
you
some amazing things.
so what do you see in the future, man?
You know, it's hard to say, man. You know, like I've spent so much time uh taking myself so serious, man. I've spent so much time beating myself up on things, and I realize that when I do that, it holds me down. It keeps me in a certain area. But when I just go out here and I have fun with it, man, you know, it seems like it opens up more doors for me when I'm having fun with it. So I don't know, man. I don't know what the future holds. Like I definitely want to make a cameo or two for WWE just to say that, you know, I
That you
did that.
it. Yeah.
You know, I made a cameo for Impact. You know, that was cool. But to say you made a cameo for the company, you know, fuck. I mean, who doesn't want to say that? I mean,
Yeah.
everybody at some point, somewhere, they make a cameo for WWE at some point or another. They do.
Yeah, at least you
Um,
want to. That's normally everybody's goal because when you watch wrestling, that is normally the show that people watch is WWE, and then you just say, "Man, I really would want to be there one day." That's what most people say. So yeah,
I mean,
that is a goal.
a lot of guys I know a lot of guys that really don't want to work there, but I know that there's guys that would
Well,
like to
there's a
make
difference
an
in
appearance.
working full time and just making casual appearances, at a house
Oh,
show or whatever. There is a big difference in that. You're not locked into the
absolutely.
contracts.
But I don't know, man. You know, like I did the Arnold Classic this a few months ago. That was a huge deal for me.
Yes, you did. Congrats on that.
Never been to an Arnold Classic before, and the first one I ever went to, I got to be a performer on it. So I was really stoked for that.
Yeah, and you got to
Got to
see
see
Arnold.
Arnold.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know, I'd like to go back and do that next year. Be a part of that.
yeah, definitely.
I don't know, man. The sky's the limit, man. You know, like people, you know, like I start weighing in. Okay, well, I'm going to be 37 in August. Where do I go from that? You know, from 37. You know, like the body's starting to, you know, kind of slowly whisper in my ear, like it's, you know, tone it down a little bit. But at
Before
the
we
same
wrap it up,
time,
yeah, your body. Mentioning that you suffered a crucial injury a few years back.
well, 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I was in a match with Mark Magnum. We went for a spot, and I felt this burning sensation in my lower abdomen. Never had a hurt, never had a hernia before in my life.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
no problem.
Never had a hernia before in my life, but my mind told me that that's what I had was a hernia. Come to find out, it was a hernia, and I tore my damn abdomen off my abdomen wall. So, you know, that was fun to hear.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds painful.
Doctor tells me that this is one of those freaky injuries to where you're probably not going to be able to do what you love to do anymore because of the physicality of how you perform with your body. You're probably not going to be able to do the same things anymore, you know, because that's going to be just a crucial thing to heal and a crucial thing to, you know, get by. And it kind of pissed me off because I felt like all I've ever had when I got somewhere that I felt like when I started feeling like I was moving up,
Yeah,
I felt like something always knocked me down.
yeah,
And you know, fucking CWAI, I was one of the top guys in that company, you know, and I was wrestling every weekend. I was doing really good things, and then I get hurt, and I have to take 6 months to a year off. Well, that puts me in a situation where, you know, I can't go to my shoot job. I can't, you know, it just makes you feel like, well, God, how do I provide for my family now? You know, how do I do this? How do I do that?
yeah. Because you're
So,
working
but
regular jobs at this point too. So, what did your other employers say about this? Did they know you
well,
were
they
wrestling on the side?
they knew,
Yeah,
but I had to come clean with everything, man. I said, well, I can't work, you know. I gotta get myself back together, and that's going to take time.
yeah.
I didn't even know how I was even going to heal from it, or
Okay.
how I would heal.
Yeah, of course. You
But
never suffered anything like that.
I know that after 14, 15 plus years of doing this, and some of the matches I've been in have been pretty crazy. Uh, you know, for this to be like my first major injury, that's pretty good, man. In a 14-year span, that's pretty good. You know, as far as I'm concerned. You know,
Yeah,
like I mean, because yeah, I've had a few bruises, bumps, cuts, scrapes, all that, but nothing really major. You know, out of 14, 15 years. So yeah, man. Like I decided, you know, I got into this on my own terms. I'm gonna leave this shit on my own terms.
that's right.
So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever I can to get my ass back. and get my ass healthy and get my ass back in the game because I know I got a few more years left in me. And I mean, there's other things that I eventually want to go and do outside of pro wrestling, but there's things I haven't accomplished yet in pro wrestling, and I want to say that I did that. And until I can accomplish those, I'm gonna keep trucking it, man. I know I still got a lot of left in the tank, and I'm gonna keep going until either the wheels fall off or I come to that, I come to the end of the road for me. But right now, man, there's no stop signs.
Yeah. Yep. You were told that you may never be able to wrestle again, and here you are today, a couple years later.
Yep.
So, yeah. Well, the future seems bright for Eric Fallon. I mean, hopefully one day you might be the future great wrestling champion down the line. Who knows? As of right now, you're wrapped up in a pretty good line with the core, right? Is that your name?
The code.
The Code. Yeah, the Code.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you
I'm
got a bunch
bad.
of.
No, listen. We talk about this all the time, man.
Yeah,
Does Eric Fallon like playing the role of a face or the role of a heel, man? Listen. I've established that character as a face for so
the
long.
kids love you.
It's so easy. Guys today, they come to me, man, it's so hard to be a face. How do you do it?
Yeah,
Well,
let me show
to
you, kid.
me, being a face is easy.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is. It's just, it was never, unless it's your first match. I mean, being a face for me was never hard.
no, people
You
loved
know,
you, man. When I'm at the shows, they're constantly cheering for you. The kids are screaming. The adults love it. Yeah,
you take what it's not rocket science. So you look at
yeah,
what you think fans are going to like, and if you can do something different and unique and cool, you're going to get accepted.
yeah.
If you can relate to them as you're one of them, you're going to be accepted.
That's something
You know,
about you. You're not a cookie cutter. You're not. You're not like everybody else. You're very unique.
yeah, even doing this hill shit now, like
It's gonna be hard
I'm
because
doing
yeah.
I'm doing it in a different way.
Okay.
Eventually it's going to go back to a darker realm, to where I'm more comfortable with. But
Yeah.
right now, man, I'm having fun, man.
Yeah. That's
I'm
the
doing
key.
this whole, I'm doing the whole asshole character, and kind of like how Taker went through his American Badass character, where he was an asshole hill instead of a dark hill.
Yep.
That's kind of where I'm at with it right now. Like I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Um,
And you're wrestling
it's not a
really good
character.
talent. The guys that you're wrestling right now are awesome. So you guys are
Absolutely,
doing great
man.
work over there. But part of the Top Guns is still alive, but one of you, well, you offed one of them.
Well, you know, when you create a group like that,
People love
you
the
kind
Top
of
Guns.
you kind of stereotyped yourself there. You know what I mean? Like someone's got to be the goose in the group, and it
So,
wasn't going to be me. And
yeah,
I don't know if Ryan Michaels just got ahead of himself, but
built like a million
uh,
bucks.
everyone looks at him like he's the maverick of the group. Well,
Yep.
that's fine. He can be the maverick of the group, but uh, I'm not no damn goose, man. You
Hey,
know,
kicked his ass pretty good, huh?
pretty much if you paired Iceman with Maverick, that's how that went down.
Yeah.
That's the perfect story. If Iceman would have taken the place of Goose and they were together, and then Iceman said, "Fuck it, I wanna go into business for myself," and did something to Maverick, that's the story of the Top Guns.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from Ryan Michaels. He's a hell of a talent. He's a great talent.
Yep.
He's very underrated.
Yeah.
I feel like he needs to get out there in the world more, but that's his deal. That's not my deal.
Besides you, he is the main reason why I would go and watch Future Great Wrestling. Besides you, to me, just meeting the guy, since I've personally have met him backstage and wherever, the dude is very down to earth, very cool.
He knows what he's doing, man, and he also trained under Les Stature for a little bit.
Okay.
Les came down before CWAI became its own company. They were doing training sessions there, and Ryan Michaels was a part of that. He went down there and he was training with Kelly Klein from Ring of Honor, the women's Ring of Honor champion. he was down there with her, and he learned some stuff. He knows stuff. He's really good, and I enjoy working with him. He's one of my favorite guys I'm working with.
Yeah.
But you know,
Somebody had to go.
has he been in the business as long as me? No.
Oh,
It just got to a situation where Eric Fallen just doesn't play well with others. Like sooner
yeah,
or later, Eric Fallen always goes back to being on his own.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's how you
I
grew
mean,
up. You were on your own, so it makes sense.
absolutely. So I enjoy the time that I have with people and doing things, but when I feel like the time is up, if you don't know that it's up, I make you know that it's up,
Yeah,
and it's just the way it is, and I just that's just who I am, Jesse. I don't I I enjoy the fact that I can entertain people, but I could care less, if I'm around people or not. Like
yeah,
I do my job and I play my part, but at the end of the day, I want to be fucking alone. Like I enjoy my me time.
yeah.
So I love Ryan Michaels. I think he's got a hell of a personality. I think he's a great talent, but he's going to find out what a real worker is when he works with me because here soon we're going to cross paths, and I'm going to give him one of the matches of his career.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. All right, man. That's pretty much up to the end of the segment here. I mean, we're at 2 hours.
That's awesome, dude.
So thank you again so much, man, for coming on here. The time goes by fast, dude. So
It does, dude.
yeah,
And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it that you invited me on here and wanted to kind of dig into my little world.
yeah, we'll
You
find
know,
out
I,
exactly
I,
who Eric Fallen was.
I always enjoyed being around you. I like it when we hang out and shit. So, we'll get together here soon.
Yeah, I'll get out to them shows with you
Like I
too.
said, man,
Yep, I started my new
absolutely.
job, as everybody knows, so we're kind of hectic right now. I'm on my last week of training this week, and then I'll get a real set schedule. I'll get with you. Um, but yeah, man, thank you so
Absolutely.
much, and I look forward to seeing you maybe as a champion down the road.
We'll get there.
We'll get
Some way
there.
or another, we'll get there.
Yeah. All right, man. I guess you have
Brother.
the rest of your good day, and I'll talk to you later, man.
Thanks, brother. You
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, guys. So that was Eric Fallen, one of the coolest dudes I know. I'm very, very glad to have met that guy at my last job. I don't take much away from my last job, but he's definitely one person that I can take away from it to say, hey, this guy is really cool. I do consider him a friend. I look forward to talking to him whenever I can, um, hanging out with him, whatnot. Um, so he has helped my life. He's really changed it. Um, so yeah, guys, we're gonna put up the closing screen. Let me find somebody to raid real quick, and that'll pretty much be it. So like I was saying, I'll be back on probably tomorrow um, with more Pokemon Rexlock. I'm not sure what time. Like I said, I could end up possibly doing an early stream, which will be really cool. Maybe at 12:30, 1 o'clock to 2:30, 3 o'clock, instead of the 8:30 to 9:30, 10 o'clock. But so I'll keep it posted. Make sure you're checking the Discord. Make sure you're checking Twitter. It is Rex Jess is my name. That you'll find me on any platform. So yeah, if you don't have the Discord, send me a whisper. Let me know. Find Black Thunder. If you can't find me, one of us will let you into the Discord. Because he is my top mod. All right, guys. Besides that, I have somebody we're gonna raid. Actually, could be the next guest on on this podcast on Who Is. So episode 3 possibly could be this guy. Let's raid. Make sure it goes through. We're good. All right, guys. You have a good weekend. Rest of your night.